What if a single good night text could keep her thinking about you long after she closes her eyes? Not just some throwaway sweet dreams, but a message so powerful it lingers in her mind, sparks curiosity, and makes you unforgettable. You're not here to blend in. You're here to dominate her thoughts. And the truth is, most men get this completely wrong. They send lazy, predictable texts, sleep tight, or good night, and then wonder why they're ignored the next morning. Forgettable men send forgettable messages. But you're not that guy. Because women don't want basic. They crave intrigue, confidence, and a spark that makes them feel alive. The right words aren't just messages. They're tools to plant yourself in her imagination, to show her you're different, to show her you understand what 99% of men never will. So let's start with message 1. Good night. I'll try not to show up in your dreams, but no promises. Sounds simple, right? But there's a psychology behind it. Think about what happens when she's lying in bed. Her mind starts to wander, and if you've left an impression, her thoughts circle back to you. Most men miss that opportunity. You won't. That one line does more than wish her good night. It creates curiosity, playful tension, and a spark of mystery. It's confident. It's cheeky. It's flirtatious without trying too hard. You're not asking for her attention. You're commanding it. And here's the kicker. You've planted a seed in her imagination. And a woman's imagination is one of the strongest gateways to her emotions. If you can make her wonder about you, you've already won half the battle. Now, she'll react in one of two ways. Either she laughs and thinks, "Who does this guy think he is?" Or she smiles and feels that little spark she can't shake. But either way, you win, because she's thinking about you. And that's the whole point. See, most men try to play it safe. They believe being overly sweet and agreeable is the way to her heart. But let's be real. How well has that worked for them? Safe is boring. Predictable is forgettable. What women actually want is intrigue, adventure, and a man who makes them feel something real. This one line does exactly that. It's not about trying too hard. It's about knowing how to stand out in a sea of average. And when you learn to send messages like this, she'll never look at you the same way again. It's not about trying too hard. It's about effortlessness. It's about knowing your value and showing her that you're the kind of man who doesn't just send words, he creates experiences. And here's the kicker. When she falls asleep, chances are she'll dream about you. Not because you forced it, but because you've already planted yourself in her thoughts. That's the power of suggestion. That's the power of a man who knows how to communicate. Message 2. Rest well, but don't smile too much tomorrow thinking about me. This isn't just a good night text, it's a playful declaration. When you send this, you're doing two things at once. Planting the idea that she will be thinking about you and making her smile in the moment. That's a double win. Here's why it works. Women are drawn to confidence, not arrogance. Confidence says, I know I'm worth your time. Arrogance says, you owe me your time. This message drips with confident energy. It's cheeky, it's self-assured, and it's impossible to ignore. You're not chasing her attention, you're assuming it. And that assumption is magnetic. Because deep down, every woman wants a man who knows his worth. A man who doesn't need validation, but gets it anyway, because he's that compelling. When she reads it, her first reaction will probably be a smile. But more importantly, she'll start wondering, what is it about him that makes him so sure of himself? And that's exactly the place you want her, thinking about you. That's how you stand out from the sea of men sending bland, safe, forgettable texts. Women are tired of that. They don't want nice, they want bold. They want a man who makes them feel something different. This message does exactly that. It's unapologetic. It says, I'm not like the rest. And that's why it resonates. Now, some of you might be thinking, but what if she doesn't respond? And here's my answer. So what? You're not chasing validation. You're communicating from a place of value. And when you do that, women notice. They can tell the difference between a guy texting just for attention and a man who texts because he knows he deserves her attention. That's why this works. It plays into a universal truth. People are drawn to the unexpected. When you tell her, don't smile too much tomorrow thinking about me, you flip the script. Most men would never dare say it. They're too worried about looking cocky. But you understand confidence, humour, and intrigue are exactly what women crave. Now, message 3. Good night. I hope your pillow isn't jealous that I'm not there. Picture this. She's lying in bed, scrolling her phone, and she sees your text. She smiles, not because the words are profound, but because of the energy, playful, confident, cheeky. And here's the genius. You plant yourself in her mind in an intimate but innocent way. You tease her imagination without crossing any lines. That's what makes it powerful. It's flirtation done right. Most men fail here. They're either too pushy, forcing an outcome, or too passive, blending into the background, forgotten before the notification fades. But this kind of message cuts through the noise. It says, I'm not just here to fill your time. I'm someone worth thinking about. And the secret behind it? Surprise. Most guys don't think to make a pillow jealous. That's why it works. You're not like most men. You know women crave novelty. You know humour sparks emotion. And when you make her laugh, you're already building connection. And connection. That's what sets you apart from every other guy in her inbox. This message carries an undertone of masculinity. It's bold, assertive, and delivered with the kind of energy that says, I know my worth. Most men avoid being bold. They play it safe, sending dry, forgettable texts that do nothing but secure them a spot in the friend zone. But not you. You understand that confidence is the ultimate aphrodisiac, and this message radiates confidence. Women are emotional beings. They experience the world through feelings, imagination, and intuition. When you send a text that paints a picture, like a jealous pillow, it speaks directly to her emotions. You're not just sending words, you're creating an image she can't ignore. And the brilliance of this kind of message is simple. It's light, playful, and fun. Yet, underneath, it carries an undeniable spark of attraction. Notice what you're not saying. You're not blurting out, I wish I was there. That's too direct. Instead, you leave space for her imagination. You let her fill in the blanks. And that's where the magic happens. Most men fail here. They over-explain, over-text, and overdo it. But women don't want everything spelled out on a silver platter. They want to feel intrigued, to be drawn into the story. And when you send this type of message, you invite her into a playful little narrative that makes her smile, think, and maybe even blush. Now you might wonder, but what if she doesn't respond? Here's the truth. It doesn't matter, because this text isn't about chasing validation. It's about planting a seed. It's about showing her that you stand out from the noise without even trying too hard. Even if she doesn't reply instantly, she'll remember it. She'll remember you, and more importantly, how you made her feel. Modern dating is a battlefield, and the men who win are the ones who know how to use words with purpose. Every message is a chance to show value. Most guys waste that chance with thoughtless texts. But you understand that words are tools, sometimes even weapons, that can spark connection. And that's why this next one works so well. Message 4. Good night. Good night. Let me know if I make a guest appearance in your dreams. Simple, playful, intriguing. This isn't just a good night text. It's an invitation for her to think about you long after the conversation ends. And that's the key. You're not just texting to kill time. You're creating an experience. When she reads it, her mind instantly lights up with questions. What does he mean by that? Why would I dream about him? And that's the beauty. You've sparked curiosity, emotion, and attraction, all with one short, confident line. The beauty of this message is that it doesn't give her a direct answer. Instead, it sparks her imagination. And trust me, a woman's imagination is one of the most powerful tools you can ever engage. It works because it's bold. You're not timidly asking if she'll dream about you. You're confidently telling her to let you know when it happens. That small shift makes a big difference. It's confidence, it's self-assuredness, and it's rare. Women notice that. They're drawn to it. Because confidence isn't just attractive, it's magnetic. Now, why does this matter in today's world? Simple. Modern relationships are built in an age of constant distractions. Women get flooded with notifications, messages, and attention every single day. If you want to stand out, your words have to cut through the noise. And this message does exactly that. It's short. It's intriguing. It leaves her wanting more. And here's the key. It's not just about her, it's also about you. You're showing her that you're not a safe, predictable guy sending the same tired goodnight texts. You're showing her that you play by your own rules, that you know how to keep things light, fun, and authentic. And that's exactly what women crave. Men who can make them feel alive. Men who can take them on a little emotional journey, even with something as simple as a text. This message does just that. It gives her a reason to smile, a reason to think, and a reason to look forward to hearing from you again. So here's your move. Next time you're about to send a boring goodnight text, don't. Instead, send this. Good night. Let me know if I make a guest appearance in your dreams. Then, just wait, because the reaction you'll get will be different from anything you've seen before. She'll be intrigued, she'll be curious, and most importantly, she'll be thinking about you. And that's how you win. Message 5. If you wake up with a smile, you'll know who caused it. Imagine this. She wakes up, grabs her phone, and scrolls through her notifications. Then she sees it, your message. In that instant, she smiles. Not because you just said good morning, but because you gave her something to feel, something to carry with her as the day begins. That's the power of the right message. It isn't just a text, it's an experience. Simple, yet unforgettable. You're not overcomplicating, not trying to sound like a poet. You're speaking directly to her emotions, creating a connection that feels real and personal. Most men think women want constant attention or big gestures. The truth? It's the subtle moments, the small but impactful touches that stay with her. A message like, "If you wake up smiling, you'll know why," isn't just playful. It shows confidence. You're positioning yourself as the reason behind her happiness, without begging for her attention or forcing a reaction, and women notice. They remember the man who makes them laugh, who makes them feel good, who makes them smile before the day even starts. That's what separates you from the sea of messages in her inbox. Here's why it works. Women respond to emotions. They're drawn to men who spark curiosity, joy, excitement. This type of message does all three. It tells her you're thinking of her, it's unique enough to stand out, and it leaves space for her imagination. She begins to wonder, why does he think I'll smile? What does he know that I don't? And that curiosity, that emotional pull, is what keeps you on her mind long after she's read it. Message 6. Good night. In a world where most connections feel shallow and transactional, true emotional depth is rare. Women are tired of being treated like objects, like trophies to be won. What they crave is to be seen, understood, and valued. And when you send a message like this, you're showing her exactly that. You're not just another guy running the same old playbook. You stand out. You're different. You're worth her time and attention. But let's be clear, this message isn't about fishing for validation. It's not about waiting for her to reply with, "You're so sweet," or "You're the best." It's about planting a seed. It's about creating a moment that lingers in her mind, one she associates with you. Because at the end of the day, it's not about what she says in the moment. It's about how she feels when she thinks about you. And this message leaves her with feelings that are warm, safe, and intriguing. If you want to stand out, to be unforgettable, you need to master subtlety. You don't need to spam her with texts or drown her in over-the-top compliments. You just need to make her feel something real. And this message does exactly that. It's short, impactful, and impossible to ignore. Message 6. Good night. If you can't sleep, you know where to find me. This isn't just a good night text. It's an open invitation. It says, "I'm here, but only if you want me to be." That balance is powerful. You're not pressuring her. You're not demanding her attention. You're simply letting her know the door is open. In a world where most men are either too aggressive or too passive, this message hits the sweet spot. It makes her feel comforted, knowing you're there if she needs you, while also respecting her space. And that quiet confidence, that's magnetic. It works because it taps into something fundamental about human nature. We're drawn to what feels safe and intriguing. When she reads, "If you can't sleep, you know where to find me," she begins to wonder, what would happen if I texted him? What would we talk about? Why does he feel different from everyone else? That curiosity keeps her engaged. Women value emotional safety. They want someone they can open up to without fear of judgment. This message offers that safety while layering in mystery. It says, "I'm here for you," but also, "I'm someone you want to reach out to." And that combination, comfort and intrigue, is what makes you unforgettable. And that's where the power really lies. A message like this shows emotional intelligence. Most guys either fire off a boring, generic "good night" or drag the conversation on until it loses its spark. But you know how to end things on a high note? That kind of self-awareness is magnetic. It tells her you're not texting just to fill space. You're communicating with purpose. And that's rare. In today's dating world, where most interactions are shallow and transactional, depth stands out. Women are tired of men who only chase what they can take. They want someone who actually sees them, values them, and connects with them beyond surface-level attraction. And this message tells her exactly that. You're not looking for a quick fix or meaningless attention. You're after something real. So when you send it, don't overthink. Don't hesitate. Send it with the confidence of a man who knows his worth. Because at the end of the day, that's what makes you different. You're showing her that you're not like the rest. You communicate with intention, with thought, with impact. These aren't just goodnight texts. They're signals that you stand apart. Women don't remember ordinary. They remember the man who made them feel something, who sparked curiosity, who lingered in their mind long after the chat ended. That can be you. If you're serious about taking this to the next level, try these messages tonight and watch what happens. Then come back and let me know in the comments. And if you're ready to truly master the art of connection, hit subscribe, because the more you do, the more this gets shared with men who need it. Be different. be unforgettable. Now, go make your move.